This is Fred Rachani of TSC News and my other feed playing in the background. So much chaos. I think Braun Strowman may have given a running power slam to our producer Eugene in the background here. He looks like he slipped on a banana peel or something. Man, oh man. What can I say about Survivor Series? It was one hell of a show. I'm here with the rapid recap to recap Survivor Series from top to bottom. Also going to give you guys my thoughts on WWE NXT TakeOver Houston War Games. But holy doodle squat, was this an eventful show. A very confusing show as well. Quite confusing. And I'll tell you guys why in just a second. But first, if you're enjoying what you're watching, what you're seeing right now, please feel free to click the like button, share this with all your friends. If you like pro wrestling, this is the channel for you, so click that subscribe button, enable notifications, don't forget to do that, and we will continue to provide you guys with some awesome content. I also hope that everybody has safe travels and an awesome Thanksgiving week. Well, American Thanksgiving. And if you're not in America, then hey, I hope you have a great week anyway. So, Survivor Series. A lot of questions regarding the show. Who would be eliminated first? Would Raw get the upper hand? Would SmackDown get the upper hand? Would AJ Styles get squashed like a bug? Or would he actually get some offense in on Brock Lesnar? We had all these questions answered and more. So, let's start from the top because I'm sure that's what everybody is going to be talking about. We had the main event, Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. This was one bizarre-ass match. On paper, this looked like a great match. And I can honestly say this was a pretty damn entertaining match. And it was hard not to have an entertaining match, given who was involved here. I mean, you have Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and Triple H taking on Randy Orton, the glorious Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, John Cena, and Shane McMahon. One of these guys is not like the other. Shane McMahon. So keep in mind, this was a pretty great show going up to this point. And some weird things go on, even before the bell even rings. Kurt Angle makes the entrance first, which I thought was a little weird. It probably should have been him, been the team captain last. His leg was notably wrapped up. Something going on there. We had Shane McMahon enter for his team, and Triple H made the final entrance for Team Raw, so it emphasized that something was going to happen between Triple H and Kurt Angle, as was hinted on Monday Night Raw, when Triple H just pedigreed Jason Jordan like a piece of crap and said, hey, I'm the fifth and final member of Team Raw. We had no interference from Jason Jordan, surprisingly, in this match. I thought this would have been a good time to turn him heel, put some heat on the young guy, but we didn't get that. So there's a lot to go over here. Let me just kind of break it down, simplify it for everybody, because this match was almost an hour long. We had Strowman hit Nakamura with the running power slam for the first elimination, which pissed me off a lot. Originally, this match started out with both guys playing around. It was, I believe, right here. Let's see, who started? Okay, Shane McMahon was an idiot and attacked Braun Strowman from behind. He got tossed around like a 47-year-old man who shouldn't be in the same ring as him. Then McMahon tagged Orton. Strowman tagged Joe. Orton and Joe teased their respective finishers. Balor and Nakamura got tagged in next, and the crowd was chanting NXT because both are former NXT champions. Nakamura and Balor were playing around. We even got a too sweet pose, which is pretty cool, and no cease and desist letter there. This was notable because over the course of the time Nakamura was in this match, and not for that long, Michael Cole kept calling him Shin, as if they're boys. Now, I know Nakamura's boys with the ring announcer Greg Hamilton, who's a great ring announcer, but I don't think he's boys with Michael Cole. Don't be calling him Shin. He tags in Shin. Shin with the kick. Shin with the knee. Unless Michael Cole's got some weird leg or shin fetish, okay, I really don't want to hear Michael Cole calling him Shin. He just seemed like the already uncool white guy that he is. Anyway, we had Nakamura and Triple H face off, which was pretty interesting. And then we had Bobby Roode and Triple H trade spine busters, which was pretty cool, and trademark poses. Bobby Roode did the glorious pose. Triple H did the suck it. This was like father and son. It was kind of creepy, but kind of cool at the same time. And then we had Kurt Angle in there. And he ended up hitting 3 consecutive German suplexes on Bobby Roode. Hit the Olympic Slam. But then Roode counters with the arm drag. Nakamura got tagged in, ran wild on Triple H and Angle. And then Strowman came in and hit the running power slam for the first elimination. So I got to have myself there a little bit. But just a lot going on in this match. Just a lot going on. And it kind of didn't get any better from there. So Nakamura got eliminated first, which sucks. And then Strowman eliminates Bobby Roode, which sucks. But, you know, I could have lived with Roode getting eliminated early, but Nakamura, not so much, especially when you find out what happens afterwards. So Strowman got into it with Samoa Joe. Triple H and Angle got into an argument of their own. McMahon, Orton, and Cena tried to capitalize. Cena and Orton tried to double-team Strowman. They got knocked on the outside. Actually, they were able to knock Strowman on the outside. They went outside and got knocked out by Strowman. But then, once Strowman was trying to destroy both of them, put them through the announcer's table, Roode, Nakamura, McMahon, pretty much all of Team SmackDown gathered and suplexed Strowman through the table. But as you guys know from last month, Strowman would live to fight later on. So then Orton, Cena, McMahon all got back in the ring. They were the ones left after Roode and Nakamura were quickly eliminated. Cena and Joe teased fighting a bit. I wish this was a dream match, but unfortunately we just get it for Survivor Series for now. Balor and Joe also argue. That was the running gag of Team Raw. They couldn't get along. So Cena hit an AA on Joe. Balor was going to go for the coup de grace, but was caught by Cena, and Cena hit an AA on him. And then Cena hit an AA on Joe again for the pin. John Cena eliminates Samoa Joe. Then we have Angle and Cena. This was a really good back-and-forth exchange, a callback to their match back in the day in 2002, Cena's debut main roster match. We had Angle catch Cena in the ankle lock, followed by the Olympic Slam. Shane McMahon broke up the pin. Balor hit the foot stomp on Cena, and then Angle hit another Olympic Slam on Cena to eliminate him. So the final 2 on SmackDown up to this point are Orton and McMahon. I will repeat that again for everybody in the back. Okay? The final 2 men for SmackDown in 2017 were Randy Orton, 36-year-old Randy Orton, and 47-year-old soccer dad Shane McMahon. But it gets better. It gets much, much better. So Balor hit McMahon with a big running dropkick into the barricade on the outside. That looked wicked. Back in the ring, Balor missed the coup de grace, and Orton caught him with an RKO out of nowhere for the elimination. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens attack Shane McMahon on the outside. But of course, Shane McMahon, having to be booked like Shawn Michaels in 1996, fights off the top 2 heels of SmackDown other than Jinder Mahal with a steel chair. And then Orton, I believe, hit the RKO on Kevin Owens. My stream was kind of effing up around this point, but it looked like Orton hit an RKO on Kevin Owens, and they were sent off to the races. With that distraction, Strowman hit the power slam on Orton to get the pin. The final person left for Team SmackDown to fight for Team SmackDown's honor was not Bobby Roode, who admittedly is an old dude, but still a new superstar to WWE fans. Not Nakamura, who's also in his mid-late 30s, but a guy who is also a new superstar to WWE fans. No. Do you know who the final person was? The final person to fight for the honor of SmackDown Live? Well, folks, none other than Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon, the 47-year-old soccer dad who has a pro wrestling hobby. And this is what killed the match for me. Although maybe the aftermath did save it a bit. Because there was good work involved from everybody, or as much as there could be with the booking here. Whew. So McMahon tries to go on the offensive against Triple H and Kurt Angle. Angle and Triple H continue to argue. Angle hit the Olympic Slam, put McMahon in the ankle lock. Triple H broke up the submission, hit the pedigree on Angle, had Shane McMahon pin him, pretended to be friends with Shane McMahon since, you know, they are brother-in-laws. And then Triple H hit the pedigree, pinned him 1, 2, 3, as Strowman looked and said, "What in God's name is going on?" And I'm sure his character obviously thought that. But I'm sure in the back of his mind, Adam Scherr, the man behind Braun Strowman, was probably like, wait a second. Aren't I the youngest guy in this match? Aren't I the rising star? Aren't I the one that just put Kane through the ring? Shouldn't I be getting the winning pinfall? But no. In 2017, going into 2018, Triple H pinned Shane McMahon in the main event of Survivor Series. And I was getting ready to flip my lid here, but there was something that did salvage this a bit. For now, we'll see where it goes. Triple H celebrated with the reluctant Strowman. Say that 10 times fast. Strowman told Triple H, "Never double-cross me again," and punched Triple H. Triple H got up, went for the pedigree, but ate not one, but two running power slams for his troubles, and Braun Strowman ripped off his Raw t-shirt and stood tall as the show came to a close. What a weird-ass booked main event. At least they sent the fans home happy with Strowman taking out Triple H. But for the love of God, if this leads to a Strowman versus Triple H match, where Triple H actually beats Strowman en route to facing Angle at WrestleMania, Jesus mother freaking Christmas. Ugh, I don't even want to think about that. I mean, Triple H has done some questionable things before, but pinning Braun Strowman, oh my God, Hey, you never know. Maybe they want to make Braun Strowman the top babyface and not Roman Reigns now. Who knows? Maybe they'll keep Roman Reigns with the Shield through WrestleMania, and they'll have Braun Strowman challenge for the title at WrestleMania, which would be phenomenal. I doubt that's going to happen, but as I've been saying before, till my face turns blue, I really do think that Braun Strowman should be the guy on the babyface side of things, not Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns can be one of the guys. And when Roman Reigns turns heel, I think he could be the guy on that heel side. But I think Braun Strowman's money, and it's not even funny. And I didn't mean that to rhyme, but, I guess that's the writer in me. Anyway, that was a weird-ass move to have Triple... I mean, I guess it sets up Triple H and Angle and everything. Well, not I guess. I know it does. But you couldn't do it earlier in the match and have Braun be the sole survivor. No, it had to be Triple H, Paul Levesque, the game, Hunter getting the win over Shane McMahon, his brother-in-law, the man he took the company from in 2017. Ugh. Okay. Now let's go back to the beginning here, because this was a great show, even with the weird ending. On the kickoff show, we had Elias Samson pin Matt Hardy. Enzo Amore beat Kalisto in a singles match for the Cruiserweight title to retain the championship. This was fine. Well, by Enzo standards, it was fine. And we had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn beat Breezango. Main card opened up with The Shield taking on The New Day. This is a great match. Plenty of cool spots and near falls, including a double Midnight Hour where Big E had both Rollins and Ambrose on his shoulders, as well as a super triple team power bomb off the middle rope, I believe on Kofi Kingston for the pinfall. I could be wrong though, but I think it was Kofi that got pinned. Either way, Shield wins. This was great. This was their first pay-per-view match together in 3 years, over 3 years, since I believe WWE Payback 2014, which after that, of course, Seth Rollins put a steel chair to the back of Ambrose and Reigns, and, well, the rest is history. Backstage, we had Stephanie McMahon, the Raw commissioner, give an awkward motivational speech to Team Raw that got them riled up in a very, very cringe way. I don't know what was more cringe, the verbiage of this promo or the fact that Team Raw was so riled up from it. I mean, I guess it's their boss, they have to be, but ugh. Ugh. Gotta take a sip of water there just to clear my palate from that. Becky Lynch, Naomi, Carmella, Tamina Snuka, and Natalya took on Alicia Fox, Nia Jax, Asuka, Sasha Banks, and Bayley. Team Raw won this one, Asuka being the sole survivor. Becky Lynch was surprisingly eliminated early by Bayley with the dreaded schoolgirl pin. Tamina made a blind tag after Carmella superkicked Bayley and hit a Superfly splash to pin Bayley. Nia Jax and her cousin Tamina Snuka, the real-life cousins, brawled on the outside. Tamina was able to take out Nia with the super kick and eliminate her via countout. And then this match became what the kids call a cluster duck. when Naomi tried to roll up Alicia Fox and lock in her weird lucha submission, but Alicia's shoulders were down. Referee counted to 3 because, well, her shoulders were down. You got to call it like a shoot. I believe that's how the refs are instructed to call it. So Alicia was eliminated by Naomi. Sasha Banks immediately got tagged in and submitted Naomi with the bank statement for the next elimination. Asuka's tagged in and destroys Carmella for that elimination. So we're down to Tamina and Natalya against Asuka, or against Asuka and Sasha Banks. Natalya eliminates Sasha Banks with a sharpshooter, and then Asuka submits Tamina via armbar, and then Asuka submits Natalya with an Asuka lock submission for the win. Raw was up 2-0 so far in the pay-per-view. This was a pretty good match, a little sloppy in certain parts, but definitely better than last year's women's Raw versus SmackDown match. We had a surprisingly solid match between Baron Corbin and The Miz, where Baron Corbin got the win via end of days. Maurice was at ringside supporting her man. This was actually not too bad. I was very, very surprised here. So kudos to Baron Corbin for bringing it. You know, Miz is an incredibly, incredibly underrated wrestler. He often gets overlooked. Yes, there's been times in his career where he's been sloppy or a bit subpar here and there, but these last few years, Miz has really, really stepped up his game. And this was a pretty good match, and Baron Corbin won clean to give SmackDown their first win of the night. We had the Usos beat Cesaro and Sheamus. This was an excellent match. Tons of near falls. You should absolutely, positively, mother-freakingly go out of your way to see this. Some people are going to say the Young Bucks should be Tag Team of the Year. They may be the best businessmen of the year. But as far as Tag Team of the Year, I'm sorry. I got to go with the Usos day one-ish. The Usos, baby. Damn, I said Usos, didn't I? I sound like Nigel McGuinness when I called the Undisputed Era the Undisputed Area. My bad. The Usos. I don't want to get put in the penitentiary. But they are my Tag Team of the Year thus far, and they should be Tag Team of the Year. Your Tag Team of the Year. We had Charlotte Flair beat Alexa Bliss via figure 8 submission. I thought this was a decent match. Went a little too long. It had the least heat up to this point of any matches on the pay-per-view. But both women worked really hard. Some good near falls. Alexa Bliss even kicked out of a natural selection, which nobody ever does. But Charlotte did get the submission win. SmackDown goes up 3-2. And then we had, holy doodle squat, the match of the night. Brock Lesnar versus the phenomenal AJ Styles. Universal Champion versus WWE Champion. Good God Almighty. This is the best Brock Lesnar singles match since WrestleMania. And this is probably the best Brock Lesnar singles match since, Jesus, when? I can't even think of the last great one. Maybe the Undertaker match at Hell in a Cell 2015. I'm trying to think if there's any other, as far as like, singles matches with Brock. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is Brock Lesnar's best match since Hell in a Cell 2015 with The Undertaker. And that had the benefit of being also Hell in the Cell and against The Undertaker. For his best match before The Undertaker, oof. I can't even, honestly, I can't even think right. Maybe against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 31? Now thinking about it, was his best match without like some weird stipulation? I mean, it's been a long time. Yeah, he's been in some great multi-man matches. He's been in some great gimmick matches like the Hell in a Cell. And I'd say SummerSlam 2015 was pretty great with Brock and Taker. Other than the weird finish where Taker low blowed him like a heel, and that never really led to much. So, yeah, it's been a while. It's been a couple of years here, and this was a great match. No surprise, given the fact that they actually had time to have a real match rather than Lesnar just suplexing everybody. Jinder Mahal cut a promo backstage, saying that he hopes Styles wins, but he hopes Styles also gets his ass handed to him. So it looks like they're going to be doing a rematch down the road. I believe next month's Clash of Champions is a SmackDown pay-per-view, so likely they'll do Styles versus Mahal. Not too interested in that feud, but considering AJ got a great match, the best match of Mahal's career out of him just a couple weeks ago, I have high hopes for that match. But let's get to Lesnar versus Styles. You can tell that Lesnar was motivated in this match too. Good God Almighty. So, Brock kicked things off with a ferocious pace, kneeing Styles like crazy, throwing him around. He had a huge belly-to-back suplex. In fact, every suplex he hit Styles with, Styles just flew like crazy. It was insane. It's just insane. So, hit a huge release German suplex. Styles got a brief flurry of offense, only to get immediately knocked down by Lesnar. Lesnar went for the F5. Styles escaped, moved out of the way, and as Lesnar charged into the corner, Styles moved, and Lesnar, of course, bonked into the turnbuckle. Styles hit a dropkick to the knee, DDT on Lesnar, and then he went full Jose Aldo style with those leg kicks to Lesnar. Enziguri by Styles, moonsault by Styles. But Lesnar caught Styles. Styles went for a tornado DDT. That looked like a little bit of a botch, and Lesnar just slammed him down. But I liked it because this looked realistic. This looked like a real fight with pro wrestling rules, and I absolutely loved it. Lesnar tried to get the upper hand again, got hit with the Pele kick. Styles goes for a phenomenal forearm. Lesnar caught Styles, flipped him over, and hit another huge release German suplex. Styles went full moonsault there with that release. Lesnar tries to punch Styles, but knocked himself out of the ring with his momentum. He hit the apron on the way out. And then Styles hit the forearm on Lesnar on the outside. He pushed Lesnar's knee into the steel steps. Back in the ring, Styles hit the Enziguri and moonsault. And he also hit the 450 splash for the first pin attempt of the match and a great near fall. Styles tried to go for a Styles clash, but then Lesnar goes up for the F5. But Lesnar's knee gave out, and Styles locked in the calf crusher. Little AJ Styles locked in the calf crusher on Lesnar, and Lesnar actually sold it for what felt like at least 30 seconds, which was awesome. After that, Lesnar grabbed AJ Styles' head and just slammed him to the mat like the big ogre that he is to escape. That's one way to escape. Somebody should try that in UFC. Lesnar went for another F5. But Styles grabbed the rope to block it. He hit Lesnar with a forearm, knocked him down, and then hit him with a phenomenal forearm off the top rope. Just looked beautiful. Lesnar kicked out. Styles went nuts, pulled down his elbow pad, went for another phenomenal forearm, but Lesnar hit the F5, finally hit that one F5 to get the winning pinfall. Unbelievable match. And what I loved about it most was Brock Lesnar, afterwards, he walked out of the ring, he was still selling his knee, and he looked at AJ, looked at Paul Heyman, and gave a little nod to that guy, that little pit bull, that all-time great in AJ Styles. My God. Phenomenal, no pun intended, effort from both men involved. Again, Lesnar's best match in at least 2 years. Hell, this might have been the best, I don't know if I want to call it the best match of Lesnar's career as far as one-on-one matches, because he's had some great matches with Kurt Angle. He had that great match with John Cena at Extreme Rules back in the day. This is by far one of Lesnar's best one-on-one matches. If this isn't the best match he's ever had, this is definitely up there. This is just an incredible match. I love this match. Styles looked great in defeat. This was as good of a match, as great of a match, as phenomenal of a match as you could have with Styles losing. He still looked great. Nothing to be ashamed of. The announcers put him over as well. Called it a great effort. I cannot say enough good things about this match. So overall, even with the weird-ass main event, this was a massive, massive thumbs-up show. Like, wow. Wow. As Ric Flair would say back in the day, after drinking and probably snorting something off of Arn Anderson's arm. Wow. Whew. And to think just a couple weeks ago, we were going to have like Natalya versus Alexa Bliss, Jinder Mahal versus Brock Lesnar, and Jason Jordan, who's like I don't know what Jason Jordan's gimmick is. He's like the human version of the Arthur meme. You know, Arthur meme where it shows like the fist? Like that's Jason Jordan. He's just a human version of the Arthur meme. Oh, I hope Triple H gets hurt, and I hope Team Raw wins. He can't help but be polite. He's the type of guy that'd be polite even if he asks for for your manager at like Best Buy or something, you know? Sir, please get me your person of authority immediately. I would really, really appreciate that. God, Jason Jordan needs to turn heel so badly. So overall, massive thumbs up. But yeah, I did question the booking of the main event because it was a little awkward as hell. And before I get some of the comments here and my quick thoughts on NXT TakeOver Houston, which I'm actually going to be going to in a few days. Shout out to all the peeps I'll be seeing there. I just want to say Thank you to everybody that purchased their TSC News t-shirts and hoodies. If you want to purchase your own, support TSC News. All sales go towards our production costs and delivering you guys great content. Just visit teespring.com/TSC-news-gear or click the link in the description. That's teespring.com/TSC-news-gear or just click the link in the description. Also, if you're enjoying this recap, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe and enable notifications. All right, let's get to some of these comments here. Mr. Racer 1029 says, I guess we're getting Triple H versus Strowman at WrestleMania 34. God, I hope not. I can't believe the WWE just buried Nakamura and Roode. I guess they didn't totally bury them because they did come back to suplex Strowman, but they didn't look that great either. Strowman was definitely the man tonight. Walter Peanut. I laughed so hard at Shane McMahon beating up those indie darlings 2-on-1. Yeah. Oh, man. Manpreet thinks the main event sucked. Okay, Jeremy Bauer says, I honestly wish Triple H would stick to NXT full time. I agree. I think he should. He's a great executive and everything. I wish he'd stick to NXT full time. I have no desire to ever see this dude as an on-screen personality again, but whatever. And he said, not a fan of Shane being the most protected guy on Team SmackDown. You and me both, bro. Walter says, I'm cool with Braun kicking Triple H's ass at Mania. The casuals will care about that. No, the casuals will care about a guy who tips over an ambulance and puts men through a ring and breaks rings on a daily basis. Holiday 197, no relation to Jay Holiday, I think. Overall, pretty good pay-per-view. Everything up until the main event was good. Was expecting more from the men's 5-on-5 and for a grander screw job from Owens and Zayn. I agree. I think it would have been way better if Owens and Zayn screwed over Shane and Team SmackDown as opposed to Triple H, Hunter, winning in the main event in 2017. JD Frank 20 says, good pay-per-view. I love the Shield New Day match. Woods and Big E showing Dean why he needs to go back to the gym. Damn, that's cold, bro. Dean Ambrose is a good-looking guy. He's married to Renee Young. I don't think he's got to do anything. He's in great shape. John Groves, Survivor Series was great. Braun was the MVP of the match. I'd hope so. I was so happy Braun wasn't done after a table spot. Come on, man. The guy had chairs collapse on him. He was put through a stage, put through a garbage truck. You think a table spot's going to kill him? The Shield versus New Day match was the best match of the night. Holiday 197 says, but AJ Brock was a close second. It was Brock's best match since his match with CM Punk in 2013. That would have been that SummerSlam. Might have been. Although, you know what? Not to be mean, but it's really hard to watch CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar after being there live for him losing to Mickey Gall like that. I know it sounds stupid, but it's a weird psychological thing. I don't know. Okay. The triple threat with Lesnar and Cena... Lesnar's triple threat with Cena and Rollins at Royal Rumble 2015 blows this match away. I said one-on-one match. You know, the Cena and Rollins triple threat was one of the best triple threat matches I've ever seen. Maybe the best triple threat match of all time. That was great too. Okay, Pinky 1K says Triple H sneaked in when Angle almost won the match. Can't believe he helped Triple H. He helped Shane McMahon. Well, he helped him for a little bit and then screwed him over. JB says SmackDown seriously looked completely awful in that main event. I agree. Did not do them any favors. You know what I would have liked to have seen? I would like to have seen a guy like Bobby Roode get taken out illegally by somebody, maybe by like Owens and Zayn, and then have Jinder Mahal come in and at least like get some pinfalls for Team SmackDown. At least, you know, keep SmackDown somewhat strong. Just brutal. Okay, how was your stream, Fred? My stream lagged on Roku and on Xbox One. It was not fun. And I will reiterate what I've always said. WWE Network, for as good of a value as it is for the customer, is very unuser-friendly and is still, by far, compared to the other big streaming services, the worst streaming app today in terms of the big ones. I'm not talking about FlowSlam and that garbage or that stuff like that or whatever. I'm talking about just compared to Netflix, compared to Amazon, compared to Hulu, compared to NBC Sports, compared to, I don't even know, Fox Sports Go, which I've used before, UFC Fight Pass, which I've used, UFC.tv, the live events viewer on PS4. By far the worst when it comes to buffering and freezing and having to restart. And this is consistent on Roku. This is consistent on Xbox. It's consistent on PS4, my cell phone, everything. PC, you name it. It's not horrible, but you know what? As I've said before as well, I feel like wrestling fans sometimes have way too low standards, you know what I mean, when it comes to like venue and how companies treat them. And I really wish WWE would just raise their standards here. Like, come on, man. Maybe you wouldn't have so much of a churn rate where you lose like 300,000 subscribers every quarter, even though you gain around the same, if you actually fixed your app a little bit and the user friendliness and the functionality. Just saying. It's not a bad app. I love it. I think it's a great for the value. $9.99 is all fine. But come on, man. Fix your damn live stream. Fix your damn live stream. And fix the on-demand while we're at it, too. Okay. I did not like the main event. Okay, cool. I didn't either. Seth Roth 766 says, I hated the main event. NXT TakeOver greater than Survivor Series. Ooh, I don't know. I mean, I really liked NXT, but I thought Survivor Series was pretty great, too. Jedge says, Team Red effing rules. Team Red is going to beat the F out of SmackDown. I don't know what SmackDown is, okay? Oh, boy. Okay, let's get to some more comments here. I think Corbin has really improved. He's improved. I don't think he's improved to the point where it's like, wow, oh, my God, this guy's amazing or anything. He's solid. He's solid. But if you look at some bigger men, I think some of them have more upside. You go at Lars Sullivan. Maybe he's not there yet, but I think Lars Sullivan down the road definitely will have more upside. AOP, bigger guys, early 20s. I think they definitely have a lot of upside. Punishment Martinez and Ring of Honor, even though he's an older guy, I think he's got a lot of upside. I'm trying to think, there's a few more guys that are like good prospects that are like around the same size as Corbin that are tall, but really good. Off the top of my head, I can't think. I think Punishment Martinez, AOP, those guys kind of come to mind. I don't think AOP's that tall, but you know they are big, heavy dudes. My point is, you know, there's been other guys around Corbin's experience level with greater presence that are about the same level or better than Corbin is already. So, hey, Corbin's got some presence. He does. But I think he's still got a long way to go. In my humble opinion, he's still got a long way to go. But this was a good match. But frankly speaking, I'd give a lot of the credit to The Miz on that. Miz is a very underrated, great worker. He's not Kazuchika Okada, Kenny Omega. He's not John Cena or Roman Reigns. But he's a guy that can definitely wrestle. Okay. Now let's get to my NXT TakeOver thoughts. I thought it was a hell of a show. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the War Games was a buffet of violence. A lot of crazy, crazy spots, man. Just insane. And let's go over the highlights real quick because I got to get on out of here very soon. It's for those that don't know, I also work in marketing. And it's a very busy time, and I actually still have work to do right after this live stream. So, yeah, enjoy your sleep, y'all. But hey, I'll be going on vacation in a couple days, hanging out with my boys and girls, and enjoying Houston, Texas. The irony. Of course, I couldn't be in Houston this weekend, but hey, it's all good. It's all good. I got to be in Brooklyn for SummerSlam weekend. That was all good. So, let's see. Lars and Cassius Ohno. Lars Sullivan beat him in relatively short order. This was exactly what it needed to be. I just hated that Cassius Ohno was in this role. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. I know aesthetically, he's not one of the best looking wrestlers in the world. He should drop some more weight. I don't know if he should. You know what? That's wrong to say. By the standards of McMahon land, he should probably drop more weight, and I don't doubt the fact that he's probably trying to. By the standards of pro wrestling, of the past and present and future, I think if a guy can go, who cares what his physique looks like? If a guy has great cardio, if a guy can have great matches, push him anyway. Who gives a damn? But, you know, I think they see Cassius Ohno as more of a utility player. And what's unfortunate is, as great as Cassius Ohno, Chris Hero is, I really think that the main reason they took him off the indies is just to take him off the indies. I hope he's making decent money. Hopefully down the road he'll transition into an NXT trainer because I think he's a valuable asset to the company. But it is tough to see him in the opener of an NXT TakeOver losing in just a few minutes. And nowhere near the title picture, mind you, which I think is kind of messed up. I would really like to see him in the title picture. We had Aleister Black and Velveteen Dream in a shockingly fantastic match. Now, they got some good reviews on house shows, but That's house shows, and I've never seen these guys wrestle before, and never seen them wrestle against each other before. A weird clash of styles. This was excellent. Velveteen Dream, aka Patrick Clark, formerly of Tough Enough. He is also the former tag team partner in Maryland Championship Wrestling with Leo Rush. This dude is a star. Great physique. Has a throwback, Rick Rude style gimmick. He's got the hair all puffed out. He's got the abs. He had the airbrush tights with Aleister Black's face on one leg, his face on the other leg. He was gyrating. He even hit the Rude Awakening. And the whole point of this match's feud was he wanted Aleister Black to acknowledge him. Say my name. The crowd was saying, say his name. Say his name. Excellent back and forth match. I mean, just go out of your way to watch this whole show, but especially this match. Lots of near falls. And man, oh man, this is just great. Velveteen Dream looked like $1 million. Aleister Black came off looking great as well. I guess Aleister Black's going to challenge next for the NXT title. We'll see. But both these men, to me, I think, I don't want to say Patrick Clark is main roster ready yet. In terms of gimmick-wise, how he has a gimmick down on lock, I think he's main roster ready. In the ring, he might be too, given who they have on the main roster right now. But I'd like to see him get some seasoning. As for Aleister Black, I mean, this guy's a stud. The former Tommy End. Straight out of Amsterdam. This dude is the real deal. I don't know if Vince McMahon would get behind him because of all the tattoos he has and everything. I mean, granted, he got behind CM Punk. I don't think Aleister Black can cut a promo like CM Punk. But he is great in the ring. He really is. He's got an amazing presence. And he's a guy that would love to see get a monster push down the road. He, to me, comes off like a tougher, badass, more credible version of, I guess, a cross between Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt. That mythical kind of figure. He doesn't say a whole lot of words. He just does his thing, kicks ass. And after the match, I loved it when he hit the what is it called? The Black Mass, I think is his finisher, the high kick. And then he pinned Velveteen Dream, sat up, cross-legged as he always does, and said, Velveteen Dream. Actually, I don't even remember what he said, but he said Velveteen Dream. He said, get your wish or something, Velveteen Dream. Or enjoy your stay in darkness, or he said some weird line. But bottom line is, he said Velveteen Dream's name. That was a cool moment. Velveteen Dream got what he wanted. And we'll see where they go. But man, Velveteen Dream, well done. Aleister Black, well done. We had confirmation that Royal Rumble weekend will feature an NXT TakeOver in Philadelphia. And we got confirmation actually tonight that Survivor Series next year will take place at the Staples Center in LA. So we'll also get a NXT TakeOver in LA, which is pretty big for those guys and girls. Speaking of girls, we had Ember Moon win a fatal 4-way match against Nikki Cross, Peyton Royce, and Kairi Sane to become the new NXT Women's Champion. She won the vacant title after Asuka vacated it to go up to the main roster. I was not a fan of the booking here because shouldn't Ember Moon have just won the title from Asuka then? Would one win have really, or one loss really have killed Asuka going up to the main roster? I don't think so. But instead, Ember Moon wins. Asuka hands her the title and they celebrate. And it's, I don't know. To me, Ember Moon kind of looks like a lame duck champion here. Whereas Peyton Royce, I think, would have been something new. She would have been this, chicken shit heel that hides behind her best friend, Billie Kay. And what was weird, too, is Billie Kay wasn't at ringside. Billie Kay walked out with Royce and then went backstage. And I really hope they don't break this iconic duo. I think they should keep them as a team. And I think eventually Peyton Royce should win the NXT Women's Championship. Unless they're getting called up. I don't know. But I think they missed an opportunity here to put the title on Peyton Royce and make her this cowardly champion. It would be something new. I mean, we've had so many dominant champions. It's great. I love the fact that the NXT Women's Championship has been booked very well. But it's been a long, long time since we had a heel champion. And a good heel champion at that. I mean, they try to make Asuka heel. She's not really a heel. Who was the last heel champion in NXT? Sasha Banks? As far as on the women's side? It's been a while. It's been a while. I'd like to actually see Peyton Royce get that title for a bit. But I'd also like to see her go up to the main roster, enhance maybe the Raw or SmackDown women's division, and get some of that main roster money. We had the most shocking match of the night for NXT TakeOver. Andrade Cien Almas taking on Drew Galloway, aka Drew McIntyre. He beat him to become the new NXT champion. This was apparently the planned finish. It was a really good match. It didn't have the heat of the previous two matches on TakeOver. it was weird because McIntyre was booked like Roman Reigns and John Cena in his prime, kicking out of everything. He kicked out of a hammerlock DDT. He kicked out of the running knees into the corner not once but twice. He kicked out of Zelina's interference, aka Tia Trinidad, aka the former Rosita of TNA. But finally, at the end, Andrade hit another hammerlock DDT and got the pin for the win. Drew McIntyre was favoring his arm. Triple H confirmed on a Facebook live stream that unfortunately he may have suffered a torn bicep. If that is the case, good God, that could be like a 6-month recovery time. Hopefully, it's a lot less major than that. Hopefully, it's a minor injury. He's out for only a couple weeks or so, but it did not look good. Andrade celebrated, and all I gotta say is, man, oh man, what a difference Zelina has made. This young woman, this New York native, she has been a free agent for years. Cutting her teeth in the indies, doing stunt work, doing video game live streams, doing all kinds of stuff, modeling, photo shoots, indie shots, you name it, she has done it to stand out and make a name for herself. Her big break came when she got cast in that movie based on Paige's Family that The Rock's company, $7 Entertainment, is producing. And then, I guess WWE finally noticed, hey, she's Latina. We need a Latina star. Hey, she's freaking drop dead gorgeous. And hey, oh, by the way, on top of all that, she's freaking talented. So they brilliantly finally hire her. Make the brilliant decision after all these years of her being around, finally hire her. And they brilliantly put her together with Andrade Cien Almas, whose career was going nowhere. The former La Sombra, who's a great professional wrestler, who was part of the original Los Ingobernables de Japón. The guy who used to have the mask, lost the mask, and then got signed to WWE 2 years ago. Actually, almost exactly 2 years ago. Actually, yesterday would have been the exact 2-year anniversary of when he was signed to NXT, or at least when it was publicly revealed by Triple H. Think about that. And he floundered. He had these weird stripper suspenders and this hat. And he was just a weird dude. Or his gimmick was like him being just this weird dude. And he had this finisher where he had the running knees to the corner, but it looked like he was really running his big crotch into somebody's face to get the pin. He was just floundering. I mean, like Hideo Itami style floundering. He teased going back to Mexico. I wouldn't have blamed him. But my God, they hooked him up with Zelina. They turned this whole gimmick around where he became this party animal that got too out of control, and then Zelina got him straight. They didn't have a romantic relationship on screen, which I thought was great. It was a business relationship. They kept it professional. She got him on track. She helped him win some matches with Hurricanranas and putting his foot on the ropes and all that. And they have slowly but surely, I think, other than the Undisputed Era, have become, and Velveteen Dream. And actually, you know what? There's a lot of great acts in NXT right now. But you can make the strong argument that over this last month, that Zelina and Andrade Cien Almas are the best act going in NXT right now. Got the pin on McIntyre, won the NXT Championship, might be main roster bound by WrestleMania. Just incredible. Comeback of the year has to go to Andrade Cien Almas. And then we had the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, defeating Sanity, the team of Alexander Wolf, Eric Young, and Killian Dane, and the Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong in an awesome War Games match. There was no roof on these two cages, or this double cage with the two rings, but they did have a rule where if your team escaped, or if one member of your team escaped, you would automatically lose the match and be disqualified. So obviously none of these guys wanted to do that. There was a bunch of crazy spots, crazy Tower of Doom spots. Adam Cole got superplexed, I think it was by Authors of Pain, onto a bunch of guys. Alexander Wolf put one of the guys through a table and got busted open. Adam Cole the night before in a match against Drew McIntyre with Shawn Michaels as a special ref got busted open too and had several stitches in his head. But at the end, it was Cole pinning Eric Young for his team. He used the kendo stick. He hit him with a running kick, got the pin. This was a very dangerous match. I can't do it justice. Just do yourselves a favor. Watch Survivor Series if you didn't. But especially watch this match. It went like a half hour long. It absolutely delivered. But man, all I could think of, especially when Adam Cole was playing possum on top of the cage, was Jesus Christ, man. And actually, I think it may have been Roderick Strong. He may have hit the superplex. I don't remember. But all I could think was Jesus Christ, man. These risks these guys take, and these girls take too. One of these days, and I hope I'm wrong, one of these days, something's going to go awry. I mean, WWE's very lucky it didn't. I mean, the most recent match I watched where I was really legitimately scared for somebody's life was Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon fighting on top of Hell in a Cell, and Shane, you know, playing pro wrestler as 47 years old, going for that big dive, risking his life. You know, this is great. It looks like they're going to do this every year now, which is awesome. But, man, going forward, I would love to see WWE move away from some of these gimmick matches. You know, like we shouldn't have a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view just for a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. We shouldn't have a TLC pay-per-view just for a TLC pay-per-view. I always thought month to month. At least War Games, like it's a special theme. It's a cool theme. They do it once a year. And NXT is not as guilty of this as the main roster, because NXT only has like a ladder match once every few months, or a False Count Anywhere or Last Man Standing match once every few months. Whereas the main roster, it's like TLC, Hell in a Cell, no disqualification, steel cage match, whatever. I can't even think of any other match. Elimination Chamber. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are human. These girls are human. The human body can only take so much. So, I mean, this isn't something new that I've been saying. Just long term, I'd like to see, you know, the risks be pulled back a little bit. Especially if Triple H takes the, well, not if, when he takes the helm eventually. Because he's a guy that made his career, made his money off of not taking a whole lot of risks. Now, he did tear some quads. He did still get his fair share of injuries. But, you know, I can probably count the crazy bumps Triple H has taken on one hand. Not saying I want everybody to wrestle like Triple H. I'm just saying, you know, there's ways to work it where it's a little bit smarter, a little bit safer, obviously. So before I go, again, massive thumbs up to TakeOver, massive thumbs up to Survivor Series. Let's go to some of the other comments here. Okay. Should I watch all of War Games? Yes, you should. JB says, I think Aleister Black and Velveteen Dream should form a buddy cop tag team. That would be pretty hilarious. I heard Taz was putting over Peyton Royce the other day, too. That's cool. I also heard Taz claim that Holly Holm versus Ronda Rousey was a work, and he completely lost credibility with me. At least when it comes to MMA. He's still got a valid opinion on pro wrestling. He's obviously had a great, accomplished career, but some of his hot takes, man, are just dumpster fires. Mainly without, without wrestling involved, like the MMA stuff. Okay, I think Jinder Mahal gets his rematch on SmackDown. And I pray he doesn't win the title back. Yeah, me too. Hey, Jinder did as well as he could. But think about this, guys. There were originally not one, but two India events for the Indian tour in December. But get this. Now, there's only one. So, there's Raw superstars, along with Jinder Mahal and Triple H, have to travel 24 hours to India just to wrestle on one show. Apparently, the other show didn't sell out as well, or the two shows didn't sell out as expected, or sell well at all, and they had to combine it into a super show. On top of that, if you look at the third quarter results, business in Asia, the continent, it did all right. A slight increase, but not a huge difference. So, I guess WWE decided, you know what? We could take the title off of Jinder Mahal now. He's not that big of a star in India. Who knew that a whole nation of 1.3 billion people wouldn't see through WWE's pandering? Who knew? That being said, I do hope that Jinder Mahal stays relevant. I do hope they keep him strong. He better be Triple H in India, seriously. And I hope he maybe wins the U.S. title. I think he's shown enough presence, enough main event presence, that he belongs in the mix. I'm not saying I want to see him have a 6-month title reign again. I'm not saying I want him to beat AJ Styles and all these guys. But I do think he's somebody that should be protected, and he's somebody that proved that he can be a commodity in this company. In the ring, he's decent. He's not good. He's not great. He's decent. He does his job perfectly fine. He's a perfectly proficient professional wrestler. He would have totally fit in the 80s. And, you know, I hope he gets better. I hope he continues to get pushed. I like the guy. I really do. He comes off likable in interviews. I really like the improvement he's had. That being said, you could make the argument just from a purely business perspective that his title run was a failure. From a creative perspective, I don't think it is, because he made himself into a star, and he stepped up as well as he could, given the circumstances, being a jobber, thrusted into a main event position almost overnight. As for the Singh brothers, I hope they stick with Mahal, even though Mahal beat them up. I hope they become well, they are a tag team. I hope they actually become a real tag team in the tag team division. And we'll see what happens from there. Okay. And, okay, one last question here. Fred, what is your prediction for the Royal Rumble? It's a little early for that, but, I don't know, man. I'd like to see the winner come from SmackDown again, because if it's from Raw, it's likely going to be Roman Reigns. Oh, sorry, I fell asleep there. Just thinking about that. Unless plans change. So I would like to see somebody go on the SmackDown side. You know what, actually? I would love to see Nakamura finally win the title on the SmackDown side of things. Maybe he can before WrestleMania. But if not Shinsuke Nakamura, I'd actually like to see Finn Balor win. And then choose to face the SmackDown champion at WrestleMania. That being AJ Styles. And they do a rematch of their great match at, what was that period? TLC. Which was a great match. Which was unfortunately negated the night after because Balor lost to Kane. And the week after when Balor got chokeslammed by Kane. Yeah, hopefully Balor will eventually hold the gold again. But that injury last year was pretty ill-timed. We'll see what happens. But folks, overall, what can I say? A great, great weekend of professional wrestling. And I want to hear from you. What you think about TakeOver? What you think about Survivor Series? Let me know. Leave a comment below. Tweet us. Facebook us. Do what you got to do. If you enjoyed this recap, please like, share, take care. Visit thesportscourier.com, our new website, for more updates. Please feel free to support us by purchasing brand new TSC News t-shirts. TSC News t-shirts. I'll try to sign that 10 times. By visiting teespring.com/TSC-news-gear. That's teespring.com/TSC-news-gear. As you can tell, I'm exhausted from all this wrestling. I'm going to go finish watching The Punisher. Hope you guys are enjoying that on Netflix as well. Until next time, everybody, as always, enjoy the matches. Woo!